some ratchet one time?
There, actually.
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft? All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park.
Well, there you go, folks. Starting Bleeding Edge style out right away, folks, there, especially for newcomers that have not seen that video. So welcome to the Bleeding Edge tonight, Friday night, the June 21st. We are here to discuss the 1994 film, The Crow. So we're not talking about the reboot that's coming out later this year. No, we're talking about the 1994 original OG film that's based off of the comics. And, you know, we're going to be talking about this film. We're going to reminisce about it, and we're just going to have a lot of fun. I will be changing up my style today with how I do the review, so look on out for a new and approved different way of talking about this film tonight. So I will be...
New moderation structure?
Yes, sir.
New format? Okay, I like that.
Format. New format. We're going to change things up tonight for you guys. So yeah, you know, as you can see here, I'm right in your review, guys. So you know, don't blame the camera. I this is just how I naturally look. I can't help it. I'm beautiful. Anyways, you know, we're here tonight. Going to be talking, like I said, about The Crow. We got a great panel for you. We got some new blood on the panel tonight for the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. We got Dylan, which is from.
Oh, Dylan, you have a YouTube channel, don't you?
It's
Guts and Glory. All right, so we got Dylan from Guts and Glory here tonight for his first time on the Bleed Edge. So great to have you, Dylan. Thanks for coming on. How are we doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
Excellent.
Ready to discuss some cinematography and, you know, excited to hear your guys' thoughts about the movie.
Awesome. Great to have you. We have also, for the first time on the panel, Mr. Dungeon Master Elite himself. How we doing, Rick?
Real good. Real good. I'm also excited to be talking about this one. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for allowing me on the show.
No problem. Glad to have you, sir. And of course, we have returning from the Middle Age podcast. We have Mr. Tim. How we doing, Tim?
I'm doing good. How are you, Cyber?
Good. Glad to have you. Gonna be fun to talk with you about The Crow, since we just had a wonderful time this past Tuesday talking about Blazing Saddles. So looking forward to seeing your thoughts on The Crow, sir.
Very excited. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. And of course, we also have returning from the Middle Age podcast, Mr. Matt. How we doing, Matt?
Fantastic. I'm so glad I could tag along on this wonderful coverage of The Crow.
Excellent. Great to have you, sir. We had a blast doing Blazing Saddles. So it's great to see what you're going to think about The Crow, sir. It's going to be fantastic. And of course, as always, we have my loyal co-host and Mr. Jeff S. TrueKnowledge. How we doing, Jeff?
I'm smoking 3 fucking joints at the same time for you motherfuckers. What's up?
There we go, folks.
Fire it up.
I'm firing it up right now, baby. 3 fucking joints at the same time. Let's do it. Let's fucking go.
He's trying to do Pineapple Express, folks.
I'm ready to rock, bro. I'm fucking smoking 3 fucking doobies.
He's ready to go, folks. And of course, also we have Mr. Time of Lords, Lord of Time, Mr. Time Traveler himself, Mr. Time Cop, Mr. Andres. How we doing, Andres?
Pretty good. Fantastic. Excited to review the Crow with you guys. So it's pretty awesome.
Where's your 3 joints, sir?
Well, I sold 3 movies, if you want to know. So
no, I said, where's your 3 joints, sir? So you can match with me.
No, thank you, sir. I'm not like you. I'm more like Ernie Hudson's character, the police cop. No, just buy the books. That's who I am.
He smokes cigarettes. Where's your cigarette at?
Oh, I left it in my car. I'm sorry. I will get it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okie dokie. Glad to have you too, Andres, Mr. Time Cop. All right, folks. So tonight, drinking games are full effect. And as we always say, drink what you like. You don't have to drink an alcoholic beverage, but it is preferred. But tonight, drinking words will be Eric Draven, The Crow, Brandon Lee in any sort of way. Either it could be Lee, it could be Brandon, it could be Brandon Lee, it could be Mr. Bruce Lee's son.
Oh,
That will also be it too. So anything related to Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, that is considered a drinking word. And as always, we will have the any thing of Ernie Hudson as well will be a drinking word tonight. So we'll stick with those. And anyways, so yes, Brandon Lee, The Crow, Ernie Hudson, Eric Draven are the drinking words tonight. So anytime those words are said, you must drink. So that is the drinking game. All right, so going around and seeing what everybody's drinking tonight, starting with you, Andreas. What are you drinking tonight, sir?
Well, I think some Gatorade and water. That's pretty much it for me.
No carrot juice? No carrot juice tonight?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, okay. What we drinking, Mr. Dillon?
We are drinking Old Reliable, Jack Daniels.
Jack
can.
Daniels. Southern Comfort one. Nice. Excellent. I, of course, is drinking my usual, the wonderful Bailey's milkshake, which is my go-to. I love it. What we drinking tonight, Matt?
Well, I am drinking the official drink for the Downs Studio recording studio here in wonderful Midwest America, and that is a 15-year-old age, well-blended Kirkland's finest Irish whiskey, triple distilled, and as a sidecar or a mixer is the wonderful Pepsi Zero, because I have to watch my girlish figure.
Nice. So whiskey and Coke. Nice. I actually, honestly, I'm with you there on the girlish figure thing. And I actually will prefer Pepsi over Coke. So I've been down with that, sir.
Cyber, you are definitely maintaining that girlish figure, sir.
You know it. I got to keep that girlish figure, sir. Got to keep it voluptuous. Anyways, what we drinking, Rick?
Well, I'm going the opposite direction as the lot of you. I've got a double strong cup of Joe. I've got some coffee to keep me awake. So I might be flying a little high over here with this coffee. I'm just saying.
Oh shit! It's gonna be like an Andres and pop culture guy, caffeine cracked out moment.
Yeah, that's how we have Andres when he drinks coffee. So it's all good. It'll be all fun. It's gonna be fun. Gotta be fun. All right, how about you, Tim? What we drinking tonight?
I am drinking a subtle 94 proof Kraken Black Spice rum mixed with a caffeine-free Diet Pepsi because I too am trying to keep my, curves all in proportion.
Look at that, both Pepsi. Interesting. As they say over there, I guess Pepsi is the way. I guess. Anyways, excellent. How about you, Mr. Jeff S? What are we drinking tonight? The same old hard cider.
I'm starting off with Red's Wicked. I'm starting off with the Red's Wicked, and then I'm gonna move over to Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh, okay. So he's staying the cider route, people. He's staying the cider route almost. Sweet Tooth Man when he comes with that stuff.
That's me. That is me.
That's him. His little girly drinks. Anyways, actually, guys, it's gonna be a great night. Hopefully, everyone gets nice and excited by whatever they're drinking. So it's gonna be all good. So, like I said before, I'm changing up how we do the review tonight. I am not going to go by scene with the film. There is just too much good stuff in this film to just kind of go scene by scene. So I'm going to be asking several questions just about the premise and all that kind of stuff about the film. We're going to talk about, things about how this movie has changed over the years now that it's hit its 30th anniversary this year. So still going to give you some factoids about the film and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll keep talking about that kind of stuff. So that will not change, but we're not going to be doing the usual play-by-play of the scenes. We're just going to really talk about the presence of the film for you guys tonight. So we're going to change it up. So anyways, so if you're not familiar with The Crow is, of course, the final film of the famous Mr. Brandon Lee Drake. Came out May 13th, 1994. So it has already hit its 30th anniversary in May. It was, considered a massive success. It had received many positive reviews, which a lot of people absolutely loved this film. It was made on a $23 million budget, and it ended up taking in $94 million in 1994. So that's a pretty good payday for such a small budget film at the time, especially in 94. Because if you go and look at other films from 94, there's a lot of big budget films around that time that were anywhere from between 50 to almost $100 million to make. And a lot of these films, a lot of those films only made just back pretty much what they did, whereas this was a massive success. Of course, there is the well-known or least known 3 sequels that this movie spawned, which had all different, characters portraying the same titular character, which were, released 96, 2000, and 2005, respectively. None of those lived up to this, of course. A lot of people hate those films. Some believe that, City of Angels was a decent film. Some say Salvation was a decent film, but for the most part, Salvation and Wicked Prayer both are considered horrible sequels and don't live up to this original film. So if you're not familiar with it, it's directed by Alex Perez. Perez has gone on to direct a few other films. He directed, of course, iRobot in 2004. He also directed a few other films over the years that were considered kind of failures, but at the same time, some were considered big hits, such as Dark City was considered a big hit in 1998, which was 4 years after this came out. And then, of course, he also did the Nick Cage film Knowing in 2009, which was a complete failure of a film, unfortunately, but was I think a unique idea. He actually also did the 2016 film Gods of Egypt, which is considered a horrible film, which I personally didn't find anything wrong with the film. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great take on Greek mythology. And I don't think it was as bad as they made it out to be. It had a great cast, too. So I think Alex Perez is a decent director. So that brings me to my first question for you guys. What do you think of Alex Perez as a director? Do you think he's a good director? Do you think he does a good job? And what do you think? How do you feel he did with The Crow? Starting with you, Rick.
I mean, okay. So when we were actually talking about this film, I was like, man, I don't know if I ever seen it. And I know I've seen parts of it. And as I was rewatching it, I was like, oh, no. I definitely had seen this one, but I wasn't very enamored with it the first time. So coming back to it with a different lens, it was kind of cool, actually. There was a lot of, I definitely have come a long way with my appreciation and critique of movies and stories in particular. So that being said, there's definitely some really good things to enjoy about this movie, but there definitely is some things that we could probably get into in a little bit as far as to like what may not be the greatest aspects about this film or this story. You know what I mean? But yeah, Gods of Egypt. I like that one too, man. I enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? I did like that one, but yeah, that's where I sit.
Excellent. Dylan, same question, sir.
Repeat the question.
What do you think of Alex Perez as a director, and how do you feel he did with the film?
So it's interesting because of like the circumstance he was presented with the unfortunate events with the main actor. But I think as a director, he did a very good job because I know it took like rewrites and they had to finagle the film. I know they did like a replacement of the stunt double and they like CGI'd the main actor's face on top. And I haven't seen any of his other movies, but I have seen iRobot, and I kind of see correlation between the two films. But I enjoyed The Crow with his gothic imagery, and I like that stuff. I like horror. So, and that's what I thought this film was going to be. I went into it thinking it was going to be a horror, and then I came out of it with like a superhero revenge story. And that was very cool.
Excellent, thank you. Shout out to Cool Bro. What's up? How you doing, sir? Great to have you in the comments. Welcome to the Crow review. Oh, Drake. All right. Moving on to Andres. Your thoughts on Alex Perez as a director, and how do you feel he directed the Crow? Drake again.
Okay.
Cyber's purpose drinking us again.
Yeah, exactly. So Alex Perez, he's kind of like a hit and miss director. When he hits, he can hit like Dark City and The Crow, and then he misses like The God of Egypt, which I haven't seen, so I have no dog in that. But yeah, I fairly enjoy him as a director. I think iRobot is a really good action film, so he knows how to do that. For The Crow, I think.
Drake.
I think. Oh God, yeah.
Thanks, Andres. You fuck.
Well, fuck you.
Well, fuck you too.
Who put The Crow? Who put the movie?
No, you did it again. You did it again. You son of a bitch. Again, you did it.
Oh God. Okay.
I think you guys should add in "fuck you" as one of them because he says that all the time.
Oh yeah, great start for today. All right, I'm gonna call it Joker. I'm sorry. So the Joker movie, great film. Alex Perez did a great job of directing it. First up, it's one of the best like dark, gothic kind of films of the 90s. First up, the city just reminds me of Gotham City, which you kind of wish you want to see that in the Batman films, which you kind of got in.
Andres, they definitely borrowed some comic book tropes for the film.
Yeah, and I think Alex Perez, for me, I can call Alex Perez like a visually, he's a visual director, kind of like Ridley Scott or like Zack Snyder. Like they're all about the visuals, and like, man, this film has really great images and visuals that I remember. I've seen this film so many times, and just the images, it just sticks with you. And the look of the character is just so iconic. It's like you know that, oh, it's the Joker, which I'm like, who else is that film from 1994? So yes, so yeah, that's where I'm at with that director. I think he did a really great job, especially the tragic death. The fact that they pull it together is very amazing. You had to kudos for him to pull it off.
Sorry, I got a little lost there. Did you say that he directed the Joker?
I cannot say the name of the title.
Nice.
I'm choosing
Nice.
the Joker because people
Andres, you could call it The Bird. How about that? The Bird.
Andres comes up with very interesting titles
Not
to
Joker,
use
because
instead
you
of the
confuse
words.
the
Instead of the
audience.
words, he uses very interesting titles.
I don't know.
He's very creative.
You know what? People, the comments, tell me what you want me to do. The Bird or the Joker? Let's be honest. The Bird doesn't sound...
The Jerker?
The Joker, doofus.
The Bird sounds more like what the movie is called, sir. Unlike the Joker, which is about homicidal maniac.
I mean, I don't mean to poke fun on you, Andres, but I mean, there are other black birds like a blackbird or a raven.
The
And the
Raven.
Dead of Night.
Ah, the
Yeah.
night.
Thanks, Matt. You stole that from me, Jacket Wagon.
Sorry.
Oh my
That fucking
god.
Seth, that goddamn Seth guy.
Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway. Great film. Excited to talk with you guys with it. The Raven. Let's go. The Raven.
Okay. Middle-aged Matt. Your thoughts on Alec Proas and how he directed the film?
Okay, so I'm gonna get a little let's say film schooly here on you.
Yep.
So watching an Alex, I can never pronounce his name right, so I'm gonna call him just Alex. Watching one of his films, like Andres, I have to say he's hit or miss, but he hits on movies that have this definite subtext of emotion. I mean, here we are. We're in this movie that we're viewing now, and I mean the whole thing is about the original writers thought of trying to work out demons from a loss he had in his life. Dark City, very similar kind of storyline with this whole like this guy's like working on his own emotions of trying to understand where he's at in life and everything's going on around him. It's a lot of dark, foreboding stuff. And you know, watching his movies when he has to deal with emotions like that, I think he hits hard. And then of course, iRobot had a similar emotional thing where, you know, Will Smith's character had to deal with the loss of his arm, trying to save a young girl. You know, there's a lot of emotion in that as well. So movies with emotion, I think he hits really hard. Now, movies like The Gods of Egypt, which I did enjoy, it didn't have the same feel as like The Crow or Dark City. I would almost put him in the same category as like a Darren Aronofsky. Now, let me go ahead and answer the second part of this question, how I felt he did on this movie. Again, the way he was able to portray the emotion coming off of Eric Draven, and the fact that he was able to use the son of the gentleman who made Enter the Dragon and use the character who is more of a brawler than someone who's in martial arts, which I thought watching this movie again for like the 200th time, it never really dawned on me that all the fight sequences in this movie it doesn't really have a much of a martial arts feel to it. It's more of a guy just getting into a street fight, you know?
Good point.
There's a couple moves in there that you can, if you're really paying attention, you can see his prior bit of training in JKD with the way that he blocks and he counterattacks. There's a couple scenes that you can actually see it if you're paying attention.
Yeah. So I just think that's my opinion on Alex and how he did The Crow.
Drink.
Yep, Drake.
More purposeful drinking.
All right, Jeff. Your thoughts on Alex Proas and your thoughts on how he directed the film.
I thought he did a great job. The movie is never boring. It maintains a deliberately, you know, sort of slow pace, right, throughout the film. It maintains it, right, without like there being like a lot of really really exciting or over the top kind of scenes. Everything's sort of like, you know, in kind of a nice spot in terms of fluidity and like the pace of everything from scene to scene. It carries over very well. He got the most out of the cast they had, right? Like all the secondary characters are good. They do a good job at their performances, right? Like they all serve their roles and all that whatnot properly. Like, you know, there's no bad, you know, performances there really. They don't expect a lot from the secondary characters, but like they maintain, you know, what's expected. And you know, the overall, you know, the overall film itself, to me, based off my understanding, appears to have been very well directed. The story was maintained cohesively, right? The movie isn't over the top. It's very grounded, and it's very street level and gritty, and they maintain that darkness to it, right? And it works. It really does. And outside of the directing, I don't think he'd have anything to do with that. But the soundtrack helps a lot. I bought the Crow soundtrack as a CD as a kid because it was so dope. You had 9 Inch Nails on it. You had Hole, right? Was on it, I believe. Or that was the Crow too. I think Hole was on. But they had a lot of the Pixies
STP.
were on. STP was on it with Big Chill. I think the Pixies were on it. Filter was on it, whatnot, right? Filter was 9 Inch Nails, right? There was some good fucking music on the shit, and that soundtrack really bolstered the film. But the director did a great job, I thought. And iRobot is a fucking sick ass movie. I love iRobot.
Excellent. Definitely got to put that on the list at some point then. That's a great movie. Tim, same question, sir. Your thoughts on Alex Perez as a director and how he directed the film?
I think it was a pretty bold choice to choose him to, direct Blackbird in the Dead of Night. But he came from a music video background, and I think that was huge, and it was the right choice because, I mean, this movie, the music is important as anything else. I mean, it's integral to this, and he understands how to marry music and video together. And I think he did an excellent job, and I think that helped bring it all together. I don't know how much he had in choosing the music, but I mean, you got a lot of bands, as Jeff was pointing out, that are, coming in here and they're writing original stuff for this. I mean, the Cure alone, I mean, that song was written for this. The Burn, that's probably one of their top 5 best songs ever. You got the same thing with Machine of Love and Grace. They wrote one for this specifically, and it's fantastic. So he knew how to marry those two things together and how to use dark imagery because, I mean, they worked on a shoestring budget. There's not a lot of CG or anything in this except for what they had to do after the fact. Once, unfortunately, the son of the guy who hit Jackie Chan passed away. And thank you. He used a lot of practical effects, a lot of when they got down to it, a lot of stuff with, camera lenses and stuff, using models to, great effect. And he pulled this performance out of some of these actors that, I mean, I don't even know if you're going to see that kind of acting come out of them ever again. I mean, they brought the guy from Commando in there, bro. Yeah. I mean, they got the guy who played Top Dollar, Michael Wincott. That by far is that guy's best performance probably ever. I mean, that was it. He should have just quit. Like, I can never do any better than this. I'm done. So I'm out. He should have retired. But I mean, he pulled it all together, and then to have to deal with what he dealt with at the the very end when they only had a couple weeks worth of shooting left, I think like 10, 11 days or something. And then he had to go back and rethink the whole process to make the movie work, and he did it. And I almost, from what I've read about how the movie was supposed to be to what it is that we see, I think it became better. I mean, out of tragedy, he built something amazing, and it worked really well. So, yeah, hands down, great job by the guy all the way around.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Great info too. Thank you for all that great little tidbits, movie knowledge. As you kept calling me on the Blazing Saddles, CyberKnowledge or whatever you called me, it was
Cyberpedia.
Yeah, Cyberpedia. That's right. Great knowledge there, sir. Thank you. The change in the altering of the film definitely, I think, made a huge impact on how great this film was. So in such tragedy, I think it made a better film, unfortunately, to say that, even if, the son of the person that slapped Jackie Chan, hadn't died, I wonder if the movie would have been loved as much as it had been.
Cyber, did you ever hear about the tragedy of when Chloe Zhao directed health, safety, or whatever, that small town.
I personally have seen that many times, and yeah, that show is Oscar worthy, because who else would drop a ball in the back of the truck? Great job, great job. Anyways, so as people have mentioned, they had to have a stand-in to finish off the scene that Mister uh, the Bird wasn't able to finish, even though thankfully the majority of his scenes were filmed. There still was a few that they had to film still. So that stand-in was none other than Chad Stahelski, who is a very notable stuntman, who has gone on to be a huge director himself. Now he just directed recently The Fall Guy, that you know has been it was a spectacular film if you have not seen it. But he is known for directing the four John Wick films as well. And he was a stuntman from 1993 to 2013. That's when he started getting into the director chair around 2013. And him and David Leitch actually were good friends, and were worked on the first couple of John Wicks together until he took over. And David Leitch left and did Bullet Train and stuff like that. That's right. Actually, I'm sorry. David Leitch did Fall Guy. But Chad Stahelski, he's been in the game for many, many years, and he is a great, fantastic, stuntman. And he has directed the crap out of some of those John Wick films and really provided some of the best stuff. He actually, a lot of people don't realize he was the stunt double for Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. A lot of people don't realize that. And also including Reloaded and Revolutions, if you did not know that. He actually has gone on to do a lot of great things, and he's been second unit director for several big films. He actually was a second unit director for Captain America: Civil War, Birds of Prey, The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. But his stunt work, is extensive. He actually did stunt work for Deadpool and Wolverine as well just recently. So be on the eye out for that. But I think he did a great job standing in for Brandon Drake. And whatever special effects they were using at the time did a really great job with the face, I think. And you really couldn't tell that it was, that it wasn't Mr. Jackie Chan Slapper. And it's still funny to think that, it's been 30 years since he died. And I still can't get over how long it's been, but it's insane. But anyways, so, Stahelski, like I said, stood in for him, and I think he did a great job doing the stunts of the film as well. So before we go on to the next question, I'm going to give a brief synopsis of the film. So basically give people an idea of, what goes on the film. But basically the film starts off, we're in a decrepit Detroit city, crime ravaged, as we see at the beginning of the film. And unfortunately, there's a young woman named Shelley Webster, who is raped and seriously wounded, while her rock musician fiance is shot and thrown to his death from a window. In comes Police Sergeant Daryl Albrecht, who accompanies Shelley, who is still alive at the time, to the hospital, where she eventually dies from her injuries. That night, the fiance is resurrected by a bird, a black bird, that brings his soul back from the dead to basically get revenge on those that did this to him and his fiance. And that's pretty much what the film is about. All right. So my next question for you guys is, now that it's been 30 years since this film came out, what are your guys' thoughts on what legacy this film has left? And what do you feel about the film 30 years later compared to, say, the first time you watched the film? Now, if this is your first time seeing the film, just give me your thoughts off what do you think, from your first watch, how you felt about the film right after you had finished watching it. And we'll start with you, Mr. Jeff.
Oh shit! I put Andres in there first, hoping you pick him instead of me, but that's okay. I'll survive. Can you repeat the back end of that question, sir? I know that we were going over the intro of the film, but what was the rest of it?
Ay.
I know, sir.
Ay. Oh, these drinkers. No. Anyways, no, I asked you, what do you feel 30 years later, what the resignation of this film is like? Do you think it's changed? Do you think it's altered? What do you think the presentation of this film, how it seems to people 30 years later, and based off of your first watch of it, no matter how long ago it was, do you still feel the same about it after it's been out for 30 years?
No, I watched it today, and honestly, watching it now at 41 years old, compared to probably my last watch, which would have been probably when I was an early teen, like probably being 13, 14 years old. That's the disparity would be between watches. I picked up a lot of things in my watch that I didn't pick up back then, right? So the movie still stands up in terms of on the same reasons from an entertainment value standpoint compared to when I was like 13, 14, like the entertainment value of it is still there. It's just that there's more depth to it now because I'm older. I've matured more, I've got, a lot more notches on my belt, right? If you guys know what I'm talking about, little guy speak, although I'd already notched so many notches already that honestly by age 18, I already outnumbered the whole panel's lifetime notches. You know what I'm saying? Besides me, just to be clear, as far as who's holding it down, Dungeon Master, you dirty ass dungeon motherfucker. Honestly, I think The Crow is such a good movie that if you sat down a current 18 to 21-year-old kid in front of, and made them sit and watch it for the first 15, 20 minutes, they'd be into it. They'd want to watch it, right? It's that good of a movie. It translates across the span of 30 years. It really does. I mean, obviously we have Dylan here. And it'll be nice to hear Dylan's thoughts, on the film because he is a lot younger than I am, for instance, or you are, Cyber. Although you are eternally youthful, sir. That's pretty much it. Just that, there were things that I didn't pick up when I was younger that I picked up now, and the movie still carries that same value and power to it. It's just a really solid fucking compact, under 2 hours, right? Never boring, entertaining, dark film that's violent and people smoke cigarettes and shit, which I respect heavily, right? Because I smoke cigarettes too. You know what I'm saying? And the industry doesn't do cigarettes anymore. Hollywood got rid of cigarettes. They need to bring them back, right? So, cigarettes are actually pretty cool, kids. I'm telling you. I mean, come on. At one point, we used to actually, prescribe cigarettes to pregnant women. They can't be that bad for you. And
4 out of 5 doctors like Newport.
There you go. See, look how cool I look when I smoke. It's obvious. I mean, I'm a cool guy.
Basically a doctor.
Cyber. Okay, USA, sir. I'm out. Peace.
I like the fact that Jeff was able to get a proctology license in his hometown. That's really cool.
I was going to say after we're done with this, I got something I need you to look at on the camera.
No, you guys don't know. Cyber can tell you. I used to be a famous gynecologist, right, Cyber? In one of my
I thought you still were.
No, I retired. I had to retire.
Oh, you retired. I did not know you retired.
Remember? Yeah, I had to retire. I was actually a famous gynecologist, world famous, Nobel Peace Prize winning and shit and everything and whatnot. And I was so good at my job at being a gyno that I was actually fucking up marriages and shit and whatnot. right? Because of my my skills. So, with doing my job, so I had to step down from my passion, my love. But I once was a world famous gynecologist.
There you go, folks. Little PSA for smoking and gynecology. All right, so okay, you would say.
Okay,
All right.
say.
Just to mention Michael Wincott again, as Tim had brought him up. Michael Wincott was also the bad guy in Three Musketeers from Disney, and also The Man in the Iron Mask. And I think that he played the exact same character in each one of those movies. But there's something about Michael Wincott that just is so fun. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love him in this film, and I love him as a bad guy, and I think he was great in those other two movies. And he actually had a few other roles throughout the early 2000s, but I really haven't seen him in anything recently. But he does still act, so it'd be interesting to see what he actually, if he still can portray those bad guys very well. But I think he's done a great job in what he has done. But I think he's a fantastic villain in this film. But Michael Wincott's good. Anyways, all right. Same question. Moving on to you, Rick.
All right. Look, that dude is actually playing in. What's his name? Michael Wincott. He's actually playing in the Cobra Kai as Nate Silver currently. That's what he's up to right now, at least in the past few years. He also was the guy of Gisborne from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which I have to say he's probably a better villain in that than the others. But I don't know. That was a good movie. Anyhow, yeah, there's a lot to say, honestly, about how this relates to nowadays, the audience nowadays, the modern audience nowadays. And I would say, first off, the modern audience nowadays, like whenever you try to get someone to come and sit down and watch a flick, everyone's got their phone in hand. You know what I'm saying? So unless it's extremely compelling, you're going to have to compete with that thing, because the audience nowadays is a little bit more distracted than probably ever before. So I think it kind of helps that it's kind of like a bad thing and a good thing that the characters in the film are a bit one-dimensional. That they don't really have like a whole lot of nuance. They're either, with the exception of the main character, they're either like a good character or a bad character, like a good guy or a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like I said, with the exception of the hero in the story, because the hero in the story is more like an anti-hero, which also fits for this audience nowadays. Because nowadays in the society we're in, people, they grow up with a lot less rules, a lot less religion, and a lot less like parents raising these rascals. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I think they can relate to an anti-hero a little bit more than the straight-laced hero that maybe we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? So I think it kind of relates a little bit better. And the tropes in this is so powerful. Like TrueKnowledge was saying. I mean, it is so crazy when you're watching this. You cannot help yourself but to really feel for the main character, the MC in this film, because all these bad things happen. You know what I mean? And it's not just happening to him and about him, but it's happening to other people that you can also relate to, like that lady. They took her eyeballs, man, and it wasn't like this one thing. They showed that eyeball a few times in the film. I was like, oh my God, man, they keep going. They ain't letting this thing go. Like, they're showing how diabolical these villains are, which makes you want that vengeance even more. And it gives you the green light. It gives the audience the green light to be okay with the way that the MC goes about exacting his vengeance, which just makes it so compelling. It just makes it so compelling. And I have to real quick go back to something that a couple of you had said already, that the setting in this, it established itself as like a really dark kind of story. So you kind of get yourself ready for it. So yeah, I think it does. I think it does, and I think that nowadays people do have an affinity to see something. I mean, you have a whole subculture of kids walking around that are, you know, they're basically wearing the same thing as the MC nowadays. So yeah, they're cool with that dark setting too.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right, Andres, same question, sir.
Yeah. Oof. I 30 years. I think this movie showed what you can do for a comic book movie, because that's something that I think a lot of us kind of forget, that this is based on a comic book movie, a comic book, and especially this moment of the decade. This was when the Batman film was going on. The Michael Keaton, and then unfortunately, the Joe Schumacher films. And Hollywood still didn't know what to do with the genre of superhero, and this one coming. This is what the first rated R superhero film before Blade happened in 1998. So it shows you that you can be dark and gritty, and they did it so well here. And yeah, I guess another thing that's really great about this film that we see later, like particularly The Matrix and Dark City, is more of like the dark gothic kind of atmosphere that you usually saw in Tim Burton films, but you never see them outside of those. And here was like the first one we saw, like a very dark and gothic, like romantic kind of film, but it's very sad. And I think that's one of the key things of this film that's so relatable. And that it has these universal things that we can all relate. And it's tough to get over the death of the main actor. But I think it's a well paced, very, how you say it, emotional driven kind of revenge film under the under this disguise of a superhero film, which is very impressive. And 30 years it still holds up, just like any other successful comic book movies like The Dark Knight and stuff like that. So that's something people don't talk about. This is it's a comic book movie, and you could do a lot with that genre. Like, come on, like without this movie, we couldn't get Blade or Logan or Deadpool, that matter, if we had this this idea that these combos could be more mature and can lead into the adult audience. So that's something I really appreciate about The Crow, and they delivered that, which is great. Performances are spectacular. I mean, love the villains. I mean, I totally forgot that Tony Todd is always in this film as the main henchman. He's so cool. I love his hat. I mean, he has also another great voice, just like Top Dollar as well. I mean, come on, he's Candyman, for God's sake, So yeah, fantastic performance here. Just overall one of the best. It's one of the best comic book movies ever. I will say that it has to be either your top list in terms of superhero films ranking. But that's all I have to say right now.
All right, thank you, sir. And just to reiterate there, Mr. Rick, that isn't Michael Waycott in Cobra Kai, sir. That's Thomas Ian Griffith that plays Terry Silver. Just FYI.
Okay.
Cyber.
Too many. Michael Waycott. If you look up look him up, he looks completely different than Terry Silver. So,
Yeah.
Totally different people. But yeah, thanks.
But I did get the guy of Gisborne thing though. That's yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, there you go, sir. Anyways, so great job there, Andres. Dylan, same question, sir. What do you think about the legacy?
Well, for a first watch, I could definitely tell that it was a classic. It's definitely something that you can come back to and rewatch, which I will, because the first time I watched it as a general audience member. I watched it for the entertainment and the story, and the characters. But I think I'm gonna watch it a second time as a filmmaker because I am one, allegedly. But the gothic tone I really enjoyed. I like dark, gritty movies, and like the blend with comic book and like dark nature, like when Spider-Man goes, the black suit Spider-Man, like things like that are very appealing to me. So I really enjoyed this movie for that reason. And the character, it's kind of like he kind of gave like a, what did I say? He kind of makes you laugh, but it doesn't take away from like the severity or the seriousness of the situation in some of the scenes. So I really like that. And yeah, overall, it's a very good movie. I'm gonna have to watch it a second time. But that is my standpoint.
All right, excellent. Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Middle-aged Tim. Same question, sir.
All right. So when I watch this movie, it's a little bit probably different for me viewing it than the rest of you because Matt and I had a friend that we seen this movie with back when it came out, and he also kind of had a dark and difficult past, and he latched onto this thing and kind of became the persona of the Crow to some extent. Kind of lived it for a long time, and oh dang, and unfortunately, within the last year, he also came to a tragic end. So I can never watch this movie without not thinking about him, and I would probably say it's probably the same for Matt. But with that said, I feel that the Crow did for the goth culture of the late 80s and 90s, kind of what the Matrix did to bring live action anime to the screen in the 2000s. I mean, it brought that whole subculture and its music to the big screen in a really cool and relatable way that everybody could watch and really kind of understand. And I think with that said, it's a movie that really it emanates pain and tragedy, loss that's truly born out of creator James O'Brien's, tragedy of losing his fiance at 18, and all the emotion and tragedy bleeds from the script and is effectively transferred to the audience through the dark, moody visuals and the stellar cast performance. And you add to all that, the tragic loss of Brandon Lee at the end, during the production, and it just sets the stage for a movie that really lays heavy on the mind after the credits roll. After I watched it last night to get ready for this podcast, I literally had to go watch a couple episodes of My Name is Earl just to get my head back, into a better place, because it draws me into that, and it's where my head wants to stay for a long time afterwards. So I think it's powerful. I think it was powerful then. I think it's powerful now, and I think it really, like I said, it hits on that goth culture, whether you were into it or not. And I think it's kind of dissipated over the years, but I remember seeing the goths and everything, and that's that's where those people lived. They lived in that kind of Crow-like world. So it's very relatable to me as that. And I think, even if you don't understand that, you just feel the tragedy and loss that this movie brings out. And again, like I said, it's just highlighted by, what happens to the, the main actor, and it just sticks with you. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Matt, same question, sir.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack with everything that Tim has said, and reiterating on what a lot of you guys have said. And yeah, I couldn't say it more about our friend that Tim had mentioned. Our friend was a good guy, and he was definitely he definitely had demons of his own that he was working out, much like Eric Draven. Drink. The movie itself, I have to say, is I can't associate this movie without talking about the comic book. And the comic books is like my lifeblood. So as you can see from my avatar up here, I've got the cover of the very first issue of The Crow. And I think the reason why the Crow itself, the movie, the comic book, is still so locked into today's society. I mean, it's it's timeless. And I think it's because it uses a lot of this emotional storytelling that James O'Barr has. I mean, as Tim had said, you know, he wrote the story to deal with the loss of his fiance. It also was inspired by events that took place in Detroit. There was a man and a woman, that were going to get married, and they died over a $20 engagement ring because they got mugged on the street. So, I mean, there's elements of real life in here. And, you know, James O'Barr grew up on the streets of Detroit, so he puts that into the story. And honestly, I think that's part of the reason why this movie still holds up today, is just because it is based in a real world. I mean, it's a comic book that isn't like your typical cowls and capes. It's a supernatural story, but you can see it happening in today's society, or in a real world situation. And if you think about it, you look at the history of the bird, the crow drink. It's so deep into different mythologies. I mean, you have like the Native American mythology, where the crow is a guider of souls to the afterlife. You know, you got the Welsh mythology, where the crow is a corpse bird, which it foretells the death of someone. And I think that's a great way to wrap everything that happened to the main characters of Sherry Webster and Eric Draven. Drink. And then let's not forget, because I'm drinking Irish whiskey. Hold on a second. I'm on credit here. 1, 2, 3, and just for good measure,
I was going to say, you should drink an extra one too, motherfucker.
4. The Irish mythology of the black bird, the death bird, the raven, the title of this movie is from a character called Morgaine, who predicted death. You know, she was the goddess of war and fate, and you get these ideas wrapped up into the story based on a guy who, you know, died just trying to protect his fiancée, had a terrible death, and then is guided back through supernatural means by these black birds to go into a year into the future to get vengeance, because he's a soul that can't rest. You know, that is such a huge supernatural mythological based story that I think James O'Barr just kind of like really tapped into. And if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, there were so many writers out there in the comic book world, like Neil Gaiman, who came up with the Sandman, and they were just tapping into this like subculture of society, whether it was in America or England or anywhere in the world, where you have people walking around who just didn't have a direction in life. They just rebelled against everything. They went to dark places, and I think that's just kind of the whole story wrapped into one thing. Is just the darkness that we all have in our own selves. I may have gone a little too much on a tangent there, but that's kind of how I feel about the Crow, and I think that kind of what really appeals to me. Thank you. But yeah, and then also, this movie came out in 1994. I was 16 years old, and actually, no, I would have been 15. Sorry. I was 15 years old. I was at just that right age, that's such an impressionable age to watch a superhero movie, that after I finished watching this movie, like a year or so later, I went out and I read the comic book, and I read all the other comic books based on the same thing. And it's if you like this stuff, it's deep in my wheelhouse.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And thank you, both you and Tim, for sharing such great story and that tragedy that you guys have faced too as well. Thank you for sharing your story. It's always easy to talk about that kind of stuff. Just like you guys were mentioning how James O'Barr, the guy that created the Crow, did the same thing, creating the comic book, to deal with the drunk driver killing his fiance himself. So excellent job, guys. here's an interesting little tidbit I found out. That when James O'Barr was originally talking with studios to create the Crow drink into a feature film, originally one of the first people he talked to wanted to make the film into a musical with Michael Jackson as the lead. That would have been really fucking weird.
I was going to bring Bubbles with me. It was going to be great.
Exactly.
Wait. Is he allowed to do that? Do whiteface?
Yes.
I mean, would that be? Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, when I read that yesterday, I was like, man, that is so off the wall, you know.
Michael be rubbing on little children and shit, whatnot. I heard back, from somebody in the back in the corner. You know what I'm saying? In the darkness, in the darkness of the Crow, baby. Michael was feeling up, Macaulay Culkin and shit, whatnot, in the closet.
Can I play my comic book card one more time?
Certainly.
All right, so you mentioned Michael Jackson being approached to play the Crow. Did you know that at one point when
Hang on, I gotta refill.
Yeah, I gotta refill here in a minute.
I gotta take a drink because of Michael Jackson. What the fuck?
No, because I said the title of the movie. So Michael Jackson, at one point, Marvel Comic Books was going in bankruptcy, and at one point, Michael Jackson was one of the highest bidders to buy Marvel Comic Books because he wanted to play Spider-Man in a future movie. Wrap your mind around that one.
And he was like, I want to meet the Young Avengers.
Or he wants the meat of the Young Avengers.
I want to be a special advisor for the team.
There you go, folks. Excellent. Thank you for that, Matt. All right. So, Sir Jeffrey, do you have the Crow trailer ready, sir?
I got it, sir.
Damn it, drink again.
Yep, great.
I'm now sucking on ice. Thanks.
You could be sucking. You could be sucking something else and be a lot worse, motherfucker.
Anyways, folks, so we'll show you the trailer for this good movie here to allow anybody that needs to refill or needs to take a bathroom break to do that, and we'll play this trailer for you guys to refresh you what we're talking about.
Over there.
Take a bath, okay.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes, just sometimes, the crow can bring that soul back to put the wrong things right.
You're all going to die.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Victims, aren't we all?
Well, there you go, folks. Fantastic.
I've got more, Cyber, if you want. I've got some scenes.
If you want to show the scenes, go for it.
What do you guys think? You want to see some scenes?
Oh, yeah. We have been anticipating the scenes.
Yo, that flip off that table was fucking crucial.
That shit never gets old.
That was a real good sequence.
Very action-packed scene there, folks, as you saw. Great scene from the film itself. Great beginning to the end of the film as well. That was a very pivotal and great scene. So that was really done well. And just like every other movie where they're shot out of order, that was one of the first scenes they actually filmed for the film when they were filming it. Technically, actually, the scene at the beginning of the film was the scene that ended up killing Mr. Brandon Lee. Drake. That was one of the last things they were filming before his untimely death. And surprisingly, it's kind of funny how sometimes these movies are filmed out of order. You think they would go from the beginning of the script to the end of the script, but that's not how they do it a lot of the time. They actually do certain sequences and they cut it together. So I think, that makes a big difference, but I think that was a great sequence. Really well done. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Jeff. All right.
I like to share things, sir. Like, like chlamydia, herpes, occasionally. You like to share.
No. Good to know.
Pass.
A warning out there, ladies.
That's how he keeps the rest of his doctor friends in business.
Probably. Yep. Anyways, talk about women. What do you guys think? That rolls me into my next question. What do you guys think of Bei Ling in the film, who has that sensational shower scene? What were you guys' thoughts on her in the film? Did you like her character? Did you think she was a great assistant to Michael Wincott? And just overall, what did you think? What do you think of her as an actress? Because I think she did a fantastic job in this, and that shower scene was fantastic. Starting with you, Andreas.
The bath scene is A+. Love her body. Definitely excites me whenever time I see that scene. I forgot that it's like every time
you get excited, Time Cap.
Exactly. So
That's how I feel about it.
Exactly. And my wife gets excited as that as well, but shh, don't tell her that I say that to you guys. Anyway, yeah, great body, great hair, I guess. Great body, a great sexy lady. I haven't seen so much of her in movies. This is like the only one or TV show roles she's done. She's great. She's good. I think she serves a purpose here. I mean, first off, she finds out, like, obviously the raven, the damn bird, is the key of getting the powers. So she's there for explaining that to her brother. And yeah, it's funny in the movie they brother and the sister are in love with each other. So that's okay. So yeah, so she's there for purpose.
That's how we like to get down, Andres. It's like the Targaryens, baby.
True.
All right. Thank you, sir. Dylan, same question, sir. What did you think about Bei Ling?
Yeah, I think she was a very, very good actress. She definitely played her. Sour Sheen was very sexy, very well shot. Can't say I haven't seen her in anything else, but she did well in the pro. Drink.
Oh,
good job, Dylan.
All right, Rick. Same question.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I agree with what has already been said. Definitely she's easy to look at. I mean, especially when you introduce the character in such a way, you're like, oh, this is going on. But then the scene, the rest of that scene kind of sets it up like, man, she's a viper, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a song out there from the 90s, Poison. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this girl is, man. You don't want to be coming near her. But even though she looks good, and yeah, definitely, I agree with Andres. Definitely, she served the purpose. That era had a number of movies had when there was a element of supernatural heroics going on. There was a lot of times there was that trope of the shaman or the diviner for the villain side, and she filled that role for this particular film. And she was, her character was done in such a way, it was really easy to like just really dislike her. Like she didn't have to do all the stuff that she did, but she did it anyways because she really wanted to. And because of that, man, oh man, you really want her. As much as you like to see her, you really don't want to anymore because she's so vile, you know?
She'd be good in the dungeon, bro.
Nah, she need to be in the dungeon, bro. But
For
yeah,
real.
I mean, hey, you know.
You're right. She belongs to the motherfucking dungeon.
But yeah,
Goddamn.
that whole brother sister thing is, I don't know, man.
She's a fucking freak, bro. Fucking freak central.
I like that line that Top Dollar says when the, I think I can't remember who it was. Was it the shop clerk, Gideon or something like that? He was like your sister, your brothers and sisters, and then Top Dollar's like, what? You don't see the resemblance? And I'm like, really, bro?
You don't see the family resemblance.
There you go. And it was a really, I mean, there's a lot of these like kind of one-liners in this movie, and like the one you played, True Knowledge, you played one of the one-liners in the opening trailer, where it was something like, is that gasoline I smell? So many good one-liners, but yeah.
I just reviewed Demolition Man last night. One of the greatest Sandra Bullock one-liners was like, she's like, after Sly beats somebody's ass in the future, she's like, you really licked his ass.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on that.
All right, Jeff, same question, sir. What did you think of Bailing?
Sly was like, no, I meant it's supposed to be kick his ass or whatever. So there you go. There's an impersonation for you folks. My thoughts on Bailing, sir. You don't want to know my thoughts, sir. I don't really have much to say about. I mean, you know, all my thoughts will be disturbing. You know, like, I think it's hot that like that dude's banging his sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's not real life. It's like in a movie, so like it's okay. So like, you know, I think it's hot, and you know, it's kind of fucking weird and shit and whatnot. But yeah, that bitch belongs in the dungeon, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's her spot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, she's a freak. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's ready to get down. And yeah, she certainly handles her business as her character in the movie. All the roles are well serviced. All the secondary roles are well serviced. Whether there's incest going on or not. Right? There you go. Okay, USA, baby, let's do it. Let's go.
Minus 5,000 points for that answer. Jesus Christ. That was horrible. That was horrible.
Bro.
No, I take that back. 10,000 points minus. Jesus Christ. Oh, Andres gave a better answer. He gets 10,000 points. You get minus 10,000. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyways, Matt, same question, sir. What do you think of Bailing in the film? Her scene and as an actress.
Okay, so I would have to say that she's a beautiful Chinese American actress. I mean, hands down, she's got great on-screen appeal.
I got a massage parlor from her sister last week, Matt.
And of course, you know, I can't forget her in that wonderful Star Wars film, Star Wars 3. Search for More Money, where she played Senator, I think I'm going to screw this name up, Benu Ba'a. And then you can't, you know, not forget her in that wonderful movie that stars Kevin Kline, Salma Hayek, and Will Smith, Wild Wild West. as she played and a very stereotypical Mrs. East. So, yeah, I mean, she was. I don't think she was like. I don't think she fills any ticking boxes other than the fact that she was like Rick said. She was the mysticism side of the bad guys. But yeah, she's definitely a character that I do not want to wind up running to in the middle of a dark alley, because she's probably going to scoop my eyes out with a spoon because it's blunt and it hurts more.
But she might blow you too on top of it.
Yeah, but she might bite it off.
She's not into the worms, sir.
She's
all right,
twisted.
thank
man.
you. Thank you, Matt. All right, Tim. Same question.
All right. Let's see if I can answer this without losing points, because I can't lose this game. So let's see here. Okay. So I think she's a great counterpart to Top Dollar. I mean, he has an awesome presence, and a great cadence. Look, you guys got me slurring. You got me drinking so much. An awesome presence and a great cadence, and she helps add to his twisted persona for sure. And I think basically she turns up that, what the fuck dial to 11 when you find out that like they're basically, having sex together. So you're like, this is just so wrong on so many levels. But the thing that she mainly adds to the film past that is she helps to solidify basically the supernatural background story of the Rook.
No, good point, though, Tim.
Ha! Nice one, Tim.
Thank you.
Excellent. A million points for Tim. He did a great job there. Far superior to Jeff.
Tim might win the Shogun Award tonight. It's possible.
Possibly. Very possible. Anyways, guys, great job. I'm surprised, most of you have not seen her in other things. But she actually, besides Wild Wild West, which I thought she was fantastic in, being that classic Mrs. East, that was really funny. But she was actually in shows Entourage and Lost, and she was in a film called Anna and the King, which came out in the late 90s as well, right around the time Wild Wild West came out. Sapland Tales, Maximum Impact. She was in Crank High Voltage, the sequel to Crank. Red Corner, Nixon. I mean, she's been around for quite a while. She's actually a lot older than people think. She's actually 58 this year. She's a fantastic actress, I think, for what she brings to her characters and everything like that. But what a way to start the character off in this film, in the shower naked. I was just I forgot about that. Rewatching this, I was like, holy crap, I forgot about she was in this. So it was almost like, holy crap, I forgot that.
I bet she's still fuckable, Cyber. Those Asian women age well.
Yes.
Cyber, I think you answered your own question right there. Everybody recognized her, like she was great in the shower. Nobody's seen her face. That's why nobody remembers her from any other movies. They just, it's not where they were looking.
Exactly, Tim. Very, very good. Very good point. Because I actually forgot who she was until I looked her up again. Because, just like you said, you really don't see her face until after that scene. So it's kind of like, why does she look so familiar? But I can't remember her name. And then looked her up, and I was like, holy crap! Why did I forget that? But anyways, great scene, great part of the film, I thought. And just like everyone said, it really brought together just how much more evil Michael Wincott and his little group there was. All right, so what are you guys' thoughts on the impact of Brandon Lee Drake's death on the film? Do you think that it really altered what we ended up getting? Do you think that if he hadn't died, do you think that the movie would be as loved as it is today? And just kind of your overall thoughts on that whole situation. Starting with you, Dylan.
So the whole thing with like the situation, and I had to do some reading because like there's like a set of hierarchy. So someone should have been in charge, and there was someone in charge, and they sent that person home because for whatever reason, whether they didn't want to pay them for the rest of the day, because we have another prop guy to take care of it. But you need to have that like that order of like operation because to prevent things like that, and we've seen it again with other situations. But yeah, and like the way that changed film, I think being someone who makes films, you have to like adapt and overcome, and it's very unfortunate that happened. But I think the film would have been very different had he had been alive for the rest of it. I feel because they wouldn't have to have done like the rewrites, and I'm sure some things would have been shot differently and scenes would have played out, not how we see them today. But yeah, that's my standpoint.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Rick, same question.
Okay, so here's how I feel about this. You guys might disagree or whatever, but I think, okay, so when the film first came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, this thing is so good," and I was like, I've always been a very avid supporter of his father. All right, and I, I mean, I a little bit, dabble a little bit into, Jeet Kune Do and stuff like that. But I mean, his movies and stuff. So when his son became actor and stuff, and I was like, I heard the movie came out. I was like, okay, that's cool. And then like I heard that, he passed away in the making of it. I was like, is this movie on some hype train? Like this thing is got this notoriety because this really famous actor's son, who the famous actor died, a tragic death, and which apparently I think there's some new information about Bruce Lee's actual death in the recent year. So someone that could actually look that up, but I'm pretty sure that they found some more information about how he died recently. But anyhow, when that happened, I was like, yo, I don't know if this movie is going to be as good. And when I do recall watching it eventually and thinking like, yeah, this really, I felt like it was overhyped. So when I watched it, I was like, yeah, and that's why I don't really recall watching it too intently. When I rewatched it the other day, I was like, no, I have seen this, but I don't know if I necessarily really got into it because I felt like it was overhyped. And especially, like I said before, it's got like pretty much one-dimensional characters. It's not a whole lot of like nuance. The characters are static. They're not dynamic at all for the most part. And the plot is really, I mean, it's pretty one directional. This doesn't go a whole lot of. There's not a whole lot of surprises and stuff like that. You can pretty much predict what's going on. It's really simple. However, because everything else about it was really good. I mean, the like the stuff that we've said already, the setting and how powerful these characters are, and the way that the actors portrayed them was really good too. And because I feel like it kind of got a jump start with its popularity with the main actor's death, unfortunately. And I think that if he hadn't died, I don't know if this movie would have been as good, like received as good, and it would. I think it would have been more of a cult kind of classic kind of thing, and not having as high reviews as it has even currently. That's how I feel about that one.
All right, thank you. Andreas, same question.
Yeah. It's really tough. I mean, it's a curse and a blessing, really, for this film. I think despite the passing, I think the rewrites and the retrues help the film to be more streamlined, which is good. Because if you look at the behind the scenes, like the other stuff that they didn't have in the film, I think could have maybe hurt the film, a, a little bit. With the supernatural stuff. I one thing I appreciate about this film is how just unexplained the supernatural is, which is good. I don't like the like now today's movies we over explain certain things. I appreciate we jumped in, we know something is really odd with the Raven, and he comes back and he revenge. So I think that was good. Of course, we want to more character development with certain characters, like the kid, or the wife or something like that. But I think the stuff we got here with the the rewrites and all that really works. It's every movie has that same situation. I mean, come on, like this is not the only movie that had the same problem. Like if Heath Ledger didn't die, I think Dark Knight still be good without that added addition to the death of Heath. Same thing with the Raven with this actor as well. Same thing with Furious. One of the Fast and Furious films with Paul Walker. He died. If he didn't die, that movie's. So it's just like these death. It's good that we had this movie because we're separating the work that they did and how unfortunate they could have had a really good career afterwards. So it's a curse and blessing, but I do agree with when the planet is if he didn't die, this movie The Raven could have been like a cult following, but because of the death, it just made it more mainstream and people was aware of this, So that's what happened.
Thank you, sir. Shout out to Joey in the comments over here. Thank you for stopping by the comments, Joey. That's an interesting little tidbit about Game of Death. His character having the bandage on his face because he was shot in the film, and then his son ends up dying the same exact way. Very, very morbid coincidence, most definitely. And you dressing up as the character for high school, I'm sure a lot of people just thought you were looking probably like a goth kid. Probably more than likely. And thanks for stopping by. Anyways, great job there, Andres. All right, Jeff, same question, sir.
Everybody's already pretty much covered this question. I'm going to go ahead and pass on this one.
No, you have to answer something.
No, let's move on to the next one, and I'll save my time for then.
No, you got to answer.
Everyone's already covered it. What is there to say? Brandon Lee died and everything and whatnot, and it's unfortunate.
Drake.
Jesus Christ. Now we drank. Okay, move on, motherfucker.
No, I'm not gonna move on, motherfucker, because it's my time to run the show, bitch. How about that?
Well, I already know that, sir.
All right, fine. You have nothing to say. Once again,
I'm saving my time for the next question. I'm saving my time for the next question, sir.
Losing 10 million points again. It's all good. It's all good. You'll catch up. All right, Matt. Same question.
All right. Well, Joey Redballs in the comments kind of already stepped on my nuts with his comment about the Game of Death because I was going to come from that angle. So, but honestly, the movie itself, I think, stands on its own. Even if Mr. Lee hadn't passed, I think it would have still. I mean, the core of the story was still there. Everything that they shot was there. I mean, he died when they were doing like the last 2 weeks, so there wasn't a whole lot of stuff that plot wise needed to be shot. So I think it was a kind of a good thing that he died when he did, and not earlier in the movie, earlier in the shooting schedule. But I think the popularity of the movie was definitely helped by his death, and it's such a sad thing to say that, but if he had lived or if he had survived his surgery after the accident happened, I think we would have probably seen a lot more movies from him, and I think he would have had a much longer or better career than what his father had. But yeah, as far as the movie benefiting from his death, yeah, it definitely benefited. But I think it probably could have stood on its own. So I don't know if I'm pretty much saying the same thing that everyone else has said, but that's kind of my opinion.
Excellent, good job. I think you said it very differently than what Joey said in the comments, so I think you did a fantastic job there, sir. Tim, do you have anything to add, sir?
I actually do. So I think when the son of the man that goes "Wah!" Passed away, I think it changed the movie fortunately for the movie in a very good way. Unfortunately, it had to be a tragedy that happened, but I think the main death scene, which was what they had to film. I mean, he had 3 days left of filming, and they were filming the beginning instead of the end, as you pointed out earlier. I think that scene would have been a lot more visually brutal, and I think forcing them to rewrite the script and using flashbacks to help show that scene, it really made it more in the mind's eye of the viewer. So it became kind of different for each person, because as I watch that, they're imagining what's happening, because you're just seeing these quick flashes and, little visuals of the rape scene and the killing and things like that. So I think it enhanced that scene much better than just a plain out filmed horrible death and rape scene, which would have been brutal and unsettling, even though it was unsettling both ways, but this was a little better. I think it also took out, there was a part supposed to be in the film with this character called the Skull Cowboy, who was supposed to be basically the main character's guide through the spirit world and what he was supposed to do, which basically was, come out of the grave, kill all the people that, did you and your fiance wrong, go back to the grave, don't help the living or you bleed. And I think that character was unnecessary, and he becomes like the Captain Obvious, let me explain the plot to you in your face thing. And I think removing him was an excellent choice, and they kind of had to, because they'd only filmed one of the three scenes they needed. And in turn, you get Sarah's character that gets to take over for the Skull Cowboy, and he gets to narrate the lore of the Crow, and she gets to talk about how true love can conquer all, and when it's so strong, it can bring back a person from the dead to avenge the wrongs that's been done on them. And so it becomes a really strong emotional love story in that regard. And it also gives Ernie Hudson's character a purpose where he becomes the narrator of various life. Drink. I'm sorry, that Ghostbuster guy. Sorry, guys. Let me drink here. But I think it allows him to, basically, like I said, it allows him to narrate the main character's life. So you kind of get her giving you the background of the supernatural, him giving you the background of the person that's been wronged. And it was a very interesting way to do it. And I think altogether, it made for a much stronger film overall. It just, unfortunately, a tragedy had to ensue to make this happen. Whether the film would have been as popular had he not died, I mean, there's some interest there. I mean, people are always drawn to death. I mean, it's like, moth to a flame kind of thing. Everybody wants to look at the train wreck. So yeah, there's always some people that are going to watch it just for that fact. But he wasn't a big enough character. I mean, it wasn't like Paul Walker that had a huge fan base at that point, or Heath Ledger. I mean, he was not nearly as popular. So I mean, there was some interest, and there's some people that went just to see that. But I think, Paul Walker they threw him in the Fast and Furious movies, but it doesn't stand out like this. It's not like, oh, that's the one you want to watch out of all the Fast and Furious. No. And I think Heath Ledger did such a great job as the Joker. It just stands the test of time too, much like, the man who goes rapid fire managed to make, the birds that say caw. I can't even pay attention to what I'm saying anymore. I'm trying to avoid saying these words. I think that he played that character well, and so I think he made it his own, and it was very strong. And I think it would have been strong either way, and that's kind of where I sit with it.
Hey, can I chime in on something here real quick?
Certainly.
So Tim brought up the Skull Cowboy. The one neat thing about the comic book is that the Skull Cowboy was a little snarky too. He was kind of like the mascot of Indiana Beach's voice, and so that's more of a regional reference. I'm sorry. So the bird that goes caw's voice was done by the Skull Cowboy. So I think that it would have been neat to see it in the movie. And just to kind of point out another thing is, again, with the comic book versus movie, the character Sarah was actually in the comic, but her name was Sherry, and she didn't have a relationship with Shelley and Eric prior to them dying. She became
Rick.
she became friends with Enter the Dragon's son in after he passed.
Okay. Excellent.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm as a comic guy, I got there's just little things that I tend to drive me nuts. It's OCD.
It's all good. It's good. It gives us some more information. Thank you for sharing, sir. All right. So, moving on. So, we talked about, untimely death and all that kind of stuff. And the next question I'd like to ask, is kind of like a trivia thing. I'm going around getting people's guesses. So, without looking it up, I want you to give me your guess of what the Rotten Tomato score is of The Crow. Drink. Starting with you, Dylan.
Can I say in the 80s? 80%.
Okay. All right. Jeff?
I would think higher than that, like high 80s, early 90s.
High 80s.
Okay. All right. Andres?
Yeah, I agree with the two 80s, probably 86.
Ooh. Rick?
I think I remember looking at this when I was looking at information yesterday on the movie. So I could say what I think I remember, but I don't know if that's disqualification. Let's see. I don't know what my memory is, if it's any good or not.
Just say it.
I think I remember it being 86, but I could be wrong.
Matt?
All right, so I never really follow the Rotten Tomato scores. I know that a lot of them seem like they're just complete D-bags. So I'm gonna give what I think it should be. I think it should be like 94% fresh.
Okay, Tim?
All right, so I want to win the patio set, so I'm going to say it's 89%. I got to go a little higher than the 286s.
Is that because of the shower scene? The shower scene?
The shower sheen. You're not even drinking, sir. What the hell's wrong with you?
What is in that coffee?
Did you go Irish? You didn't tell us.
Rick, if you want to make that an Irish coffee, feel free to check out the Down Studios official drink, Kirkland's very own Irish whiskey.
Well, a throwback to Blazing Saddles from the other day. Anything but the Irish. Not the Irish.
Excellent. All right. Well, 86 is the right answer. So you were correct, Rick. You remembered correctly. Andres was correct. And but yeah, I mean, anyone that guessed, so Tim, you get 1,000,000 points because you said 89 because you actually gave me a number. And then both Andres and Rick get 10,000 points because they answered correctly.
All right.
The rest of you get minus 10,000 points. Anyways, good job, guys. Good job. Great guessings. Great guessing.
I can't wait till I get to go to the Bleeding Edge store and buy something.
The Bleeding Edge store.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but don't you get a spider ring for 10,000 points?
Yeah, but it says Bleeding Edge on it, so it's real cool.
Well, the Bleeding Edge store is a gift certificate to the massage parlor.
Yes.
Oh man, I hear you hurt really bad down below after you go there.
This is all we got, baby.
All right. Excellent, guys. All right. So, thought that little trivia thing would be funny. Thought it'd be a little good, little added different thing. All right. So, let's talk a little bit about that end sequence since we watched it. So the end portion of this film, that whole battle sequence when Mr. The Bird shows up and takes on Michael Wincott and the rest of the people that are there. What do you think visually how that played out? Did you think that, for 1994, do you think the action was really well choreographed? Did you think the visuals were done really well? This movie doesn't have a ton of CGI in it, just the little bit they had to use to replace, unfortunately, the original actor that portrayed the Bird. And what do you think about that end sequence and kind of how it leads to the end of the film? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Do you think that the visuals are done well? Do you think the action was done well? Do you think the stunt coordinator and the fight choreography, how do you think they did with the action in this film as well? Just kind of your thoughts overall on that kind of stuff. Starting with you, Andres.
Cyber, if you don't mind, I also want to ask, none of these guys have seen any of our new videos lately, so I just want to go through some of our new stuff and see what their thoughts are on some of this interesting stuff we have going on. Like...
膝基準を回すこと以外にほぼデータがなかったんですが、ただもんじゃないですね。結構ね、ルイズ・プリモ選手の情報って意外と少ないですよね。少ないんですよ。SNS でね、膝基準を回しながら戦う姿の動画がですね、めちゃくちゃバズったんですが、そのバズった以上の情報が入ってこないんですよね。そうなんです。今度は膝
There you go, sir. Add that into your moderation, structure, please.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know Borat did wrestling.
That explains about a lot of the stuff I find in my Domino's pizza when it arrives, though.
Probably.
Here's a little tidbit. About 20 years ago, I used to actually do professional wrestling.
All right. Good to know.
Did you ever wrestle with the pizza dude?
No, I didn't. No,
Rick, was it not true that you were a chef too?
This is true. I was. Yeah. Well, well, yes and no. So technically, the title is a very prestigious thing. So I would have to decline and say I was a cook. I couldn't actually say yes to the chef thing. Actually,
I'm not sure there's much prestige in the word cook.
I know.
It's saucier, maybe cook, not so much, sir.
I know. I don't want to steal something from those who do earn that really prestigious title. So I don't want to take anything from them.
Wow.
All right, Andres, go ahead. Your thoughts.
Yep. Action visuals are top notch. I mean, this movie is not very action heavy, but when we get it, it's actually pretty good. And I mean, I appreciate the visuals, as I say before. I mean, the visuals are really great. I mean, this really is a very goth kind of film, and just the world itself. Like, it's kind of funny because if you pay attention or you look behind the scenes stuff, this is Detroit, and it doesn't look like that at all. I mean, if you've seen Detroit for real and all that. It feels like Gotham City, you know. And I think that the production designer that did this film did such a good job of making it so gothic and dark and just grim. Like it's been beat down for so many years, and you can totally tell that. So it's really visually appealing, and the action is great. I mean, yeah, it's so well done. I mean, if you've seen iRobot, like he knows how to direct action scenes. So I think Forrest does a really good job of with the action that we get, which is good.
All right. Dylan, your thoughts on the action in that action sequence, sir?
Yes. I think it was very well for its, the time period. Like I said, I'd have to give it a second watch to realize the scene, but I think it was very good.
All right. How about you, Rick?
I mean, yeah, that particular scene, because you're kind of opening. I just want to be clear. You kind of open it up to like this end scene to the end of the movie, kind of thing, right?
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, the end scene, this little party that they had, where everyone's shooting everyone, was definitely pretty cool. I think it was actually needed because, while the villains got what they deserved, and it leaves the audience with a feeling of completion. Like, this is what the whole movie is about this vengeance, about this justice that is being dealt out by the anti-hero. I feel like this is definitely needed because if you really take a look at how the big bad evil guy gets it and how his Asian lady gets it, it is fitting. You are left with like the feeling that like, okay, they definitely got what they deserved, but it doesn't. If you really think about it, it doesn't really hit. I think where maybe it could have. The action scene that we do get precipitates those things, and it's good. It's needed. I really think it's fitting that the Asian lady lost her eyes. I think that it's fitting that and here's what's cool. I think it's fitting that the crow got the Vulcan mind meld at the end, or not. I'm
Drink.
sorry, not drink. Yeah, the crow gives is another drink.
Oh, drink again!
He gives Top Dollar the Vulcan mind meld, and I also think that it's cool that he doesn't show up with it at the very end of the movie. That they actually implement this thing a few times leading up to the point. And what was kind of interesting is that the Ghostbuster guy, his character willingly accepts the Vulcan mind melt earlier, and I was like, that's strange. Like, he would just totally be cool with it and everything. I thought that was like, well, that's kind of just weird that you would be cool with that type of shenanigans happening to you. But he was, and he was like, afterwards, he was cool with it. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with his Ghostbuster, history or something like that. But it was fitting, and I thought it was cool. A little extra gem here. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when he was fleeing from, I think it was when he was fleeing from the party, the main character, he got picked up by the sergeant, and when he left his car, there was actually blood on the seats. I appreciated that attention to detail that was taken. Like, yeah, no, it's not just some seat and he gets up and there's nothing on it. No, he wasn't regenning anymore. So there was blood on the seat. Actually, no, I take it back. He was regenning, but there was blood on his shirt, presumably because he got shot 1,000 times. So I thought that was kind of cool.
All right, excellent. Jeff, your thoughts on that action sequence and kind of the action overall throughout the film?
Actual smoking in the movie is good to see, as I already talked about. Drake, Ernie Hudson, Nobody's really talked about him in the movie yet. Hardcore. He's really great. I mean, he's really an influential character in the film. He really is. Throughout the film, he's a consistent presence in the film. You know, sort of an in between, right? In between, you know. What the fuck are we? What's so funny?
Look at the comments.
Oh, whatever.
Look at what Joey said.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me, Joey. Anyways, bottom line. I love seeing Ernie Hudson drink again. Take a bullet like a real fucking man, like a '90s movie bullet, like a man when he comes in with the Seaman, right, to like do the final battle, and he takes a fucking bullet and he just like makes a joke about it when he's like laying there and just like got shot and shit and whatnot. He just rolls with it and like makes a joke. He's like, "Oh, I should have like not gone first or whatever," you know, like that's some real bad shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mr. H held it down in the film and like teamed up with the Seaman to be like the team, the squad on to, you know, to fight the final battle, right? Against hot fucking sister bitch and whatever, the other dude. So the whole thing with the penance stare shit that the Seaman did to the main guy, the main villain, that's some Ghost Rider shit right there. That's straight from Ghost Rider. That's the penance stare. I'm telling you. That's what that shit is. It's the penance stare.
Hey
Same
Jeff,
shit.
I'm going to give you 10,000 bonus points for using the Ghost Rider.
There you go.
You can use it at MAM Reviews anytime.
I will anyway. I don't need your goddamn permission, Tim.
You need my permission.
I've got a lot of pull over there. I've heard somebody in the street told me I've got a lot of pull over there at Middle Age Med. So you know, I'll do my thing, sir. But I appreciate you though. Thank you. Trying to take this fucking Shogun Award for me and shit, whatnot for the panel tonight, motherfucker.
Funniest part is you're yelling at Matt, but I'm the one that's taking it away.
coming in all prepared and shit, whatnot. What the fuck?
You know, I'm trying to show you some love. I like the fact you're throwing out some comic references. I mean, come on, man.
All right, well, check. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate your backup, man. You're just like Mr. H, right? Hold it down. So no, this movie has like in that final scene has everything from the '90s that you could ever want. Guns, right? Shootout, fucking supernatural crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? It's dark, right? Fucking hand-to-hand combat too on top of it. Lots of loud fucking explosions and shit, whatnot. Cool rock music like Nine Inch Nails, fucking you know, fucking crazy and shit, you know, in the background. Right? I forget what song that is that they play, that the Nine Inch Nails song that they play during that scene, but it's fucking awesome. It seriously is. Whoever can pull that up, I appreciate it. I'm too drinking gamed out to be able to operate at that capacity at this point.
Good soul.
He's blowing too high to run a mouse anymore.
I smoked to start the show are taking effect. You feel me? So, anyways, that was still a stud move though on my part to start the show off like that. Though I got to give myself credit. Bottom line, the supernatural shit. It's dark, right? It's fucking '90s, baby. Fuck to the bone. So it's just fucking awesome. It's a great ending, right? It's fucking totally dope. Great. The movie fucking starts off well. It ends well. It has finality to it, right? Like, you know, you can make something off of it again if you want, I guess, but it has finality to it as its own individual movie, as its own solo film. It stands as it is. You know, like it doesn't leave anything there where you have to extend the story, right? The chapter is closed. You know, kind of like when I meet chicks and then I lock it down and put it down, right? So, yeah, you know, it's done. There you go. Okay, let's do it. The Crow.
Okay, USA. Good job, sir. I give you 20,000 points for that. Very great contribution, sir.
Sir, if it would boil down to the truth, I win the Shogun Award like 80% of the time on the panel when I'm right. So I know you've got to pass it around to other motherfuckers, lesser motherfuckers occasionally, just to, be fair. Guys like Tim, Seth.
You keep thinking that, sir.
I love you, Matt.
Anyways, Matt, your thoughts, sir, on that action sequence and the action throughout the film?
All right. So are we just talking about the scene, or do I go all the way to the end of the movie?
All the way to the end of the movie, any action throughout the film.
All right.
Sir, just to be clear, Mr. Matt, when I started talking, our live stream audience jumped from like 20 now all of a sudden, just as I started talking. So what's up? Good luck follow up to that, motherfucker.
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to address, though, is I want to address about the pizza in the room. Okay, look.
Oh!
I put myself through college working at a pizza place. All right, I know how to make a pizza like the back of my hand. Yes, Joey. Yes. I'm gonna try to keep a coherent thought on this one. So, pizza is life, and to see that wrestling move. To see someone who has taken a wonderful... Oh, you know what? Yeah, Joey probably didn't get to see the video. Sorry. But to see someone be able to move like that while still twirling a pizza in the air, because twirling a pizza is hard, because you got to get the dough just right. You can't have it too wet. You can't have it too dry. You got to have it to the right consistency. And the fact that he could spin that, do a backflip, and throw it back in the guy's face, that is impressive. That's a guy that I would want working in my kitchen. All right.
So what you're saying is you got to have a lot of talent to pound properly.
Exactly. Yes.
The right hand is strong with this one.
Now, as far as the crow, drink.
Oh, drink.
So, I love the whole sequence where, Eric Draven is going after Gank.
Oh boy!
And we get the whole sequence. I mean, as you're watching the movie, every fight sequence gets a little more. Every time he goes up against somebody, it's a little more. And it's nice to see like this whole big pivotal moment. I mean, this is something you want to see in every action film is the main character going up against multiple bad guys. And I thought it was really cool that he was able to like not only like shoot people up, but also like, brawl like a street fighter and kind of channel a little bit of Wolverine. He just keeps fighting, still getting hit left and right by bullets. Uses his healing factor so that he can continue to fight. And I thought it was really cool. Now, along with that, I also thought it was neat that it then gave more drive for the bad guy to go after the dark bird character.
The Raven.
Yes, the Raven. Yeah. So that's when we get the whole scene on top of the church. And as I'm watching, I can't help but think of another dark movie called Spawn that kind of centered around the same kind of gothic structure and everything. So, but yeah, I think the action sequence was really cool. And the other thing that I really liked is the fact that Bruce Lee always wanted to make a movie where he had guns. They even in Enter the Dragon, he mentioned about, shooting the main bad guy. And it was like, they wouldn't allow him to use a gun in any of his movies. And I just thought that was neat that Brandon Lee was able to do something that his father couldn't do. And that was fight with a gun. Drink, by the way.
Drink.
Oh, and one other side note. Because I don't know if we're gonna come about this, but I liked how the Crow was able to give Darla, Sarah's mom,
drink,
a path of redemption.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to use his supernatural abilities to like push the drugs out of her system, and then just kind of tell her. And he says a line that kind of like hits me in the feels, and that is, Mom is the word of God that children say. I probably butchered that. But yeah, that quote always
that's a great point. That's a really profound point to make. Nobody's talked about that and everything and whatnot. And that was a really, really great point of the movie. It really was.
Mother is the name of God on the lips of hearts of children.
Yes. And if you knew the family I grew up in, you would understand how that kind of hits for me. Man, I've been drinking too much.
I love you, man. That was great.
Yeah, that was good.
I bet that young Sarah child, that young child, that chick is fucking probably fine now. By now, older, I bang her.
And we can't have a movie review without Jeff saying he begged somebody. There you go, folks. There was the bang of the night.
I begged her to see what she looks like now.
She's an accountant.
All right, Tim. Same questions here.
All right, here we go. Watch me drive this home for big money. So,
okay,
I enjoyed when the bird that hangs out.
No whammies.
Oh, stop it! All right.
Okay, people, quiet. Let Tim talk.
They're trying to kill. They're trying to stop me. All right. I enjoyed when the bird that hangs out and murders shows up in the boardroom and basically just pushes that chair out of the way like a boss, jumps up on that table, sits Indian style, which the old man in me is like, shit, I couldn't even do that when I was younger. And this guy just hops up at the table and does it. I was, hurting right there. But anyway, and then he gets to have some, awesome banter, back and forth with Top Dollar. I mean, he's like, well, there's the killer of killers. He's like, I'm not too sure about the face. And he points off. He's like, I just want that guy. And he's like, well, you can't have him. And I enjoy this because his next line is, I see you made your decision. Now let's see you enforce it, which, a little tidbit, that's actually a quote from Andrew Jackson. It was a ruling in the Supreme Court against the Indian Removal Act where he says, that's John Marshall's decision. Now let's see him enforce it. So they kind of reworked it for this. So there you go. There's a little history.
I say that to chicks in the bedroom sometimes, Tim. I use that same,
I know it's a good one to have. Keep it in the pocket in case you got to pull it out, and dazzle them with it. So
wait, they didn't just give them the paddle and the ball to get rid of the Indians?
No, not at all. So, right. but yeah. So and then they're like, he's like, just kill this guy, and he kind of stands up, and all those guys shoot him. And this is where I think probably Dylan's like, well, fuck yeah, because that guy goes around the table. He's like, well, where the hell is he? And it turns into a horror film for about 20 seconds. It just starts pulling those guys underneath the table, and just all hell breaks loose. Gunfights going everywhere. It's just a beautiful freaking thing. And just death starts to go, he just comes out like, he's just killing everybody left and right. He's going akimbo. He's shooting everybody. The fight scene in what I'll call Top Dollar's boardroom goes probably about 20 seconds too long. There's a couple moments where like, you're all gonna die. I don't think that kind of stuff needed to be put in there. It was pretty obvious he's gonna kill everybody in the room. And by the time he's done, he becomes vulnerable, and he's like, it's done. He's gonna crawl back to the grave, and then he finds out that they've got the girl, so he's got to go save her. And so he has to come back in and and fight him. And now he's vulnerable because he's killed all the killers. He's supposed to return to the grave or whatever. And we get this cool kind of like Highlander sword fight on top of the church. It's very cool, and during that we get to see Micah try to capture the bird, and she gets her comeuppance. That bird just pecks the shit out of her eyes. We're all pretty like, yeah, that's what you get, bitch. And she, falls to her death. So we're pretty excited about that. Back and forth with the sword fight. It's pretty well orchestrated, pretty well choreographed, very well done. And in the end, once he reveals that, it's like, hey, this has actually been just a giant real estate game, and it's my fault that you die because, I'm the one that called the hit out on you. It gives, the son of the karate master one more moment where he kind of goes back to becoming immortal, and he's able to transfer all that pain he got from the Ghostbuster back to Top Dollar, killing him with that pain, ending his reign of terror, and he's already eliminated his entire gang. And it kind of wraps up the movie very nicely, and he's able to go back, have a very tender moment with the girl, and then return back with his fiance, to happily ever after in the afterlife.
What about that life? Ask P. Diddy. I just came from his house, even though I'm feeling funny after drinking P. Diddy juice. Wait, what the fuck? What's happening here?
I'm smelling conspiracy in the air. I believe I'm being sabotaged. So I guess with that, that's all I got to say about that.
Well, great job, Tim. You get 1,010 points, sir, for dealing with their shit and just for how great of an answer that was, sir.
Booyah! Can you feel that shit?
Great use of the murder too. I guess
He dedicates 8 hours a day role-playing as a toddler.
I'm in baby mode on and off all day.
And Jess's daddy is caring for her.
I'm 20, but not really, because I'm 5.
Adopted mommy and daddy who are totally comfortable with me being a little girl.
I identify as an 8-year-old girl called Denise. Therefore, I am an 8-year-old girl.
How did you know that's how I spend my weekends?
Oh, there you go, folks. For the newbies, if that haven't seen those two videos, gotta love it. Gotta love it, people. A little baby time for you, and a little P Diddy juice for you. Anyways, all right, excellent job, everyone. Oh, great jobs. All great jobs. All right, so hot topic version. Okay, thanks, Joey.
Oh shit, we're going to Hot Topic. Awesome, I love that place.
Me too.
they have the best shirts.
I could get my Misfits t-shirt. Man,
They
I can
do
hang
have
out with
really
Dylan.
good
I could be cool.
They actually have some nice sex outfits too for like if you have a lady friend, you know, they've got some good stuff in the back.
Jeff, do you like to show a little leg? Is that what you're saying, Jeff?
No, they're more for my partner, you know, to wear.
Oh.
Man, yeah, we're all gonna go with that. Sure, okay.
Baby leg, nigga, I just shit like. I'm recording her. Hey yo, how long? My child. This is not my child. No, it's not.
Are you gonna help me?
Yeah, you gotta give me change.
I don't have change.
What happened to you?
Are you gonna help me?
What happened to you?
I don't know what happened to me. They said I got raped.
What?
Can you help me, please? Can you help me, please?
Oh my God, this is so what? This is good footage right here. Hey, yo, come on, I'm gonna help you right now. Come on.
Where are you gonna help me?
I'm gonna go get change for you.
Okay,
Hey, miss, you got change for a 20? You got change for a 20?
They said I got raped. I don't know what's going on.
I'm about to help you right now. Relax, yo.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That is the funniest thing I've seen since Anton Dodson, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know where to go with that one.
Oh my god, bro.
So for a split second there, I thought I was like seeing something on somebody's feed. What the heck?
Cyber, you gotta go around and get thoughts on this one, bro.
My thought is I don't know how Andres is sleeping through this shit.
I thought I was having a fever dream.
Well, he's Andres is sleeping through it because Jeff didn't show his favorite one. His lucky fans that are
which favorite one, Cyber? Andres picks a new favorite one of something every other fucking day. He picks a new favorite.
His loyal fan that's chasing him.
Oh, okay. He likes the nude one with the chicks dancing all nude and shit.
Oh yeah, that one too. He likes that one too.
That's his favorite. Yes. Did you guys hear about this new this event they're at the Olympics?
Yeah, yo.
Oh my god.
Where the hell did you get that? What was that?
Yo, mama sent it to me, brother. Your mama sent it to me, motherfucker.
I think that precedes the other one there, Jeff. I think that's the predecessor to that one.
That's a new event. They're at that Olympus this year. They're at a new event.
Because that one guy is doing it in public, though, too, remember?
Yeah. Oh, you mean the poster guy?
Yeah, the poster guy. He's doing it in public, though. It's the public version.
Oh, shit. What's this about?
He gave that fucking nod like, "What's up, dude?"
Did you see that guy? Did you see him nod to that dude? He totally nodded his head to the dude. He gonna buy him.
Bro.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Oh shit. Dungeons Master, we fucked you up, kid. What's up?
Oh my god, bro.
I'm not sure what the guy was doing.
And that's why this movie's a classic.
Exactly.
Only on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, motherfucker. What's up?
Yep.
We got the true alternate endings here every week.
Yep. Alternate endings, people. Alternate endings. Oh god. Great job.
そうだな。助けに来た男に殺される気分は。鉄十字団に恨みを持つ麻薬刑事さ。
スパイダーストリング格闘技世界チャンピオンスパイダーマン
That's right,
Nice.
folks. That right there is without question a better directed and acted movie than Captain Marvel ever was. Like seriously.
El Mary Spiderachi.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh man.
I did not know that Robert Rodriguez directed the Spider-Man movie.
Right.
I heard it was better than Captain Marvel.
Yes. Japanese spider fucking rules. Yep. Yes, it does, Joey. Yes, it does. Super hilarious. Just as good as all those old classic Godzilla movies. All right. Excellent job, guys. All right. So, go around the panel. Last question that I have for you guys is just overall, what are your thoughts on the film? And what do you think is the ultimate story of this film? What do you get from this film, and what does the story mean to you? Starting with you, Matt.
All right. Well, for me, the story is about justice, vengeance. It's about redemption, and it's about coping with just death and life and just whatever we're dealt with in this world. It's also a great movie just to watch and just kind of like enjoy some fighting sequences, some almost like a popcorn movie to kind of shut your brain off for a while. But it also has a depth to it, and it also points out the fact that 1994 was a bad year for pawn shops and pawn shop owners. I mean, this has like the second most popular pawn shop sequence. The first being, of course, Pulp Fiction. That's my thoughts.
Okay. Dylan, same question, sir. Overall thoughts on the film, and what did the movie mean to you after watching it?
Overall thoughts. Yeah, it was a very well told, like, revenge story, almost. But it also gave, like, some insight on, like, death and coping with it, agreeing with what he said earlier. but those are my thoughts. Overall,
All
enjoyed
right. Okay. Rick, same question, and one other question. Now, was your wrestling name Dungeon Master Elite? What was your wrestling name? Just so everyone knows out there.
Sure. It was the Gold King. Gold King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? This is gonna sound maybe a little bit strange, but I thought it was like a fun movie and it was semi-casual. I know that there was a lot of deep issues that you could explore depending on your experiences in real life. But for me personally, I think it kind of depends. Maybe I should say it depends on the relationship the audience has with dealing with death and mourning. But that aside, for me personally, I felt like it was a pretty casual film. I didn't have to really think too deep about the elements in the story to understand it. You weren't really guessing as to whether or not this character is a villain or is this character a hero. It was kind of simple in that kind of way, so it made the film, I think, a little bit like I said, semi-casual, which is not a bad thing. I think it makes it a fun and easy watch. Obviously, like we've said, justice and vengeance are the key themes. Also, we've said a bunch of times, this has a really dark overtone, which is kind of cool. I mean, it has to deal with death, so that makes sense. And I think that despite the fact that the points in the plot deal with some really tragic stuff, the audience is left with a sense of completion. Like it comes full circle. Everyone gets what they deserve. It's tragic, but it's not a tragedy. You're not after the end of the film, you're not left with this like feeling that something needs to happen. You're left complete, which is good. I think that's really good. That's totally fine, and I liked it. It was good.
Excellent, thank you, sir. Andres.
So I think this movie is very much a tragic love story, a very gothic, tragic love story. I think of these two couples getting killed and seeing the the lover coming back from the grave and then taking revenge on that. And I think that's the whole point of the story. Plus seeing people like the main dealing grief, like each has their different ways of grieving. That's something that this way definitely explores very well. Like a lot of us deal with grief different ways from our our family and other stuff, and you totally see that. You see how Sarah, the little kid in the movie, how she grieves for those two couples deaths, and then same thing with the cop, with Ghostbuster there. He has his way of grieving and stuff like that. So I think that's the whole point of the movie, is just how we all grieve and how we cope for that drama. So yeah, that's something I always relate to this movie, especially like something very close to you, someone that you lost, you love, is gone. You can understand this movie a bit better. So
Thank you, sir. Matt, same question, sir.
What was the question again?
Your overall thoughts on the film, and how do you feel after watching it? How many times you've watched it? How does it make you feel?
I think I addressed this question already.
Okay. Did I go to both you and Tim? Did I go to you too, Tim?
I think it's Tim's turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
you haven't gone to me yet. So
Okay, Tim.
I'm going to give you my simplest answer. So here it is. It's a love story, baby. True love can conquer all. even from the grave. And how it makes me feel, I like I said, I think in the end, it has multiple meanings for me, and it's a little heavy in the mind every time I watch it, but it's not a bad thing. I think it helps you work through tragedy and loss, and hopefully it does that for everybody. And but in the end, yeah, it's a love story.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Jeff, your thoughts, sir. Your overall thoughts, and how does this movie feel to you after watching it?
It feels great. It feels. What's up, Joey? Good to see you, man. It feels good. It feels good to reacquaint with an old friend like the Crow. Oh, drink. Something that watching it as like a 13-year-old, or 12, 13-year-old. You obviously you don't know it's going to be a cult classic or whatever, right? Like it's just another movie, right? And I can't go back and remember that far back to know like how I really felt about it. But it holds up, I'm interested in hearing Dylan's thoughts on it, just because Dylan is in his early 20s, and just as far as like how much this movie holds up for people in his generation. It holds up for me because I saw it back in the day. So, it's a solid film. It's really well put together. It's well casted. It incorporates a lot of different elements and a lot of different genres of film, into one movie, right? And blends it well. It makes it work. It has, again, like I mentioned, great secondary characters like Mr. H, right? That and Miss young Miss S, that facilitate the story around Mr. C, and fill in kind of fill in the anyways. But no, it's a good film. It's very complete, like everybody's already said. It's very compact. Again, it's under 2 hours, so it's not too much, right? And overall, well directed, well produced, well casted, well written. Has some humor to it here and there, but it's a dark humor, right? It's always dark, coming from a dark place. It's a 90s movie. It's R-rated. It's for a reason, right? It's a 90s fucking movie, man. And I love 90s movies. That Hollywood right now could learn a lot from the 90s. And that's pretty much all I got to say, sir. I'll save the rest for ratings.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So going around, let's give a rating for the film. And we'll do plugs and get the hell out of here. So starting with you, Dungeon Master, what rating would you give the film 1 out of 10?
I'd probably say somewhere between 7 and 8. I would probably say maybe 7.5 or something like that. Maybe a little higher than 7.5. I think that like I said, because some of the characters are a bit one-dimensional, I don't think I can give it any higher than that. But it was fun. It was good. I liked the story. The story was really powerful, and the characters were powerful, albeit a bit static.
All right. Thank you. Dylan, rating 1 through 10, sir, what would you give the film?
8.5.
Excellent. Andres?
Solid 90s.
All right.
10 out of 10. It's a fantastic film. It's timeless. Yeah. Fuck you, Jeff. Fuck you.
I'm applauding you, fucking asshole. I'm applauding you. What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know. I cannot tell the difference if you're joking or you're serious. So
I'm applauding you.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Fired up.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry about the foul language there, but who cares? Who fucking cares? It's fucking radar movie.
Fuck you. Good morning, my neighbors. Fuck you.
Fuck you, neighbors. Hello. Yeah. Anyway, fuck you. Anyway, so great film, great. One of the best comic book movies of the '90s. I mean, top notch. Very sad that we lost, this amazing actor so young. He had like a lot of potential in the future, but we lost him just like his father, which is sad. So very happy we have this film to remember him. So yeah, 10 out of 10.
Excellent. Jeff?
I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because there could have been more female nudity in it.
Doesn't pass the Mr. Skin test.
There could have been more female nudity or sex scenes or whatever in the movie. Honestly,
I agree. Middle-aged Matt, your rating, sir.
All right. Well, this movie has a lot of emotion for me. And it, like I said, it came out at a time in my life when it really hit with me. And it still to this day has a lot of personal connections as well as emotional connections. I'm gonna say it's like 9.75, just barely close to 10 for me.
All right, Tim.
I'm going to give it a solid 9, trending towards 10, because, again, I'm going to kind of reiterate. I think this, again, did for the goth culture of the 80s and 90s what The Matrix did for, live-action anime. I mean, just for that alone, it should get it. And get past that. It's just got a really solid, powerful story that you can't help but feel, whether it's because of, what happened to James O'Barr, whether it's because of what happened to Brandon Lee. I'm going to say it. We got to drink Brandon Lee twice. But, yeah, I mean, it's there. I mean, even if those two things are out of there, you can just feel it, the tragedy and the loss in the script. It bleeds through. And if you get to the end of this movie and it doesn't sit in your mind for a little while afterwards, then I don't know, you're just a cold fuck. I guess I don't know what else to say. But yeah, so yeah, solid 9, trending towards 10.
All right, excellent. Well, I give the movie a solid 10 out of 10. And I got 2 reasons. A, Bei Ling. 2, Michael Moorcott's villain performance. Absolutely love his performance in this film.
Good point, sir.
A solid 10 out of 10 for me. All right. Well, that is it for the Crow review. I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, and he will take us out.
All right, baby.
Oh, hang on. Before we do that, can I say one more thing?
Yes,
Brandon Lee, the Crow, Eric Draven, and Darren and Hudson. Drink up, boys! Over. On me.
Before you take it out, Jeff. So the Shogun Award winner tonight is, of course, Mr. Tim. He wins. Second place was Mr. Jeff S. TrueKnowledge. Third place was Dylan. Fourth place was Rick. Fifth place was Matt, and then last place was Andreas because of how many fuck yous he used tonight. Not enough. Now you may take it out, Jeff.
Okay. Now, Mr. Dylan.
Yes, sir.
If you go in the private chat and give me your YouTube channel name, I'll pull it up. In the meantime, I'm going to start off with Mr. Dungeon Master himself, Elite. Oh, wait. I think I never find him. Hold on.
Well,
great job. Good job.
You're not looking on Pornhub for him.
Oh, man. My bad. Did I not find you properly, Dungeon Master?
I don't think so.
Let me see.
Let's see. Oh, there you
Here
go.
we go.
Yeah.
And I'm subscribed. We're subscribed, sir. Tell us about your YouTube channel, sir.
So basically, I put on videos, instructional videos and stuff like that for Dark Souls, Souls-likes, tactical RPG, all pretty much video games and stuff like that. And yeah, I have a small channel, so any help would be much appreciated. And put in a comment, subscribe, watch a couple videos. I've got any of those type of genres of videos I have. And if you do play those games, you definitely will learn something. I put some of the videos I have, I put a lot of knowledge into. So go ahead and check it out.
Okay. Next. Middle-aged men. Whoever wants to represent. I'm assuming probably Matt.
I got it. All right. So yeah, we're MAM reviews. That's middle-aged movie reviews.
Hey folks, can we get these motherfuckers over 25 subscribers, please? Seriously.
Yeah, I was just say right now we're at 10 subscribers. We could really use followers of the MCU Bleeding Edge podcast to come and listen to our stuff. I mean, if you love how we talked about The Crow today, we've covered some really great films. There's three of us. We're three middle-aged men. Right now, our normal third member is on vacation. He's out and about in the world somewhere. I think the last time we heard, he might be like in Russia doing something, or in Abu Dhabi. I'm not sure where he's at right now, other than being in the chat, in the comments. But Rick has wonderfully filled in for him, and he's doing a great job. And if you want to check out YouTube tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Time on our YouTube channel, you'll see our newest episode, which is going to be our coverage of Star Wars. And we did such a phenomenal job on covering the first Star Wars movie, the original George Lucas vision from 1977, Star Wars: A New Hope, Chapter 4, whatever you want to call it. We covered it. We spent 4 hours discussing not only Star Wars, but the franchise, merchandising, always about merchandising. And like I said, check us out, MAM Reviews. That's MAM Reviews, which is short for the Middle Age Movie Reviews podcast. We're also
Matt,
on Spotify. Yes.
We are actually reviewing Pulp Fiction on Andre the Pop Culture Guy's YouTube channel on Sunday night. So if anybody from your team, I'm sure if you ask Andres, he'll be happy to have you on. If any of you guys just went ahead and reviewed it recently, if any of you want to come on and review it again with Andres and me and Cyber, we're all coming together on his channel on Sunday night. I'm sure, Andres, you probably wouldn't mind having another guest come on, right?
He's like, now that you put me on the spot, sure. I'd love to have those raging assholes on my podcast.
No. I will be totally happy to have you two be there so that we can bust Jeff's balls even more in my channel. So no, that'd be great. Very cool. You guys reviewed that movie. It's one of the best.
Yes, it is. And yeah, so if you want to hear what we said about Pulp Fiction before one of us shows up on Andres, check us out at MAM Reviews. And we're on Spotify. We're on
we're everywhere, Matt. Just tell them we're everywhere. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. You can check us out anywhere. You get out there, like, subscribe, give us some love, send us an email, tell us how much you hate us, how much you love us. We would either way.
And if you email our show after you listen to an episode, we'll give you a digital code. First one to write in usually gets a digital code for a movie that we've covered.
And nobody's asked for any of them yet, so there's a whole bunch of them waiting out there for you to get.
Exactly.
All right,
let's move on, Matt. I'm just Pop Culture Guy, sir.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this awesome Crow review. Thank you, Dylan and Judge and Master, for coming. It was great to see you two guys. You guys were awesome. And it was great to see you also the Middle Edge team. Welcome back. It was great to talk to you guys. But yeah, so I recently posted Mad Max 2 World Warrior yesterday for my 10th anniversary on YouTube. I can't believe it. I've been doing this for 10 years.
10 years? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, 10 years. And yeah, Jeff just brought up Pulp Fiction. Yeah, so this Sunday, Jeff and Cyber first time coming to my channel, we're gonna do the Pulp Fiction for its 30th anniversary this year, which is crazy. 1994. So that's gonna be awesome. I mean, it's one of the classics of the 90s films.
See, look how cool smoking is. Look at it. It's right there.
Yeah, I mean, she makes the smoking cool. Yeah, and up to 960. So please help me hit that mark, please, towards the end of the year.
If only we could have your numbers.
Next, Mr. Cyberneticshark, sir. If I can find you. There you are. I have you.
Well, that's good.
There you go. The floor is yours, sir. Mr. Cyberneticshark, sir. Good job moderating tonight, sir. Great job.
Well, hello, folks. If you enjoyed my moderating here or enjoy me on the podcast at all here at the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, you can definitely go check out my solo content. You'll find me under Cyberneticshark on YouTube. You will find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Patreon, anywhere there's social media, you will find me. As you can see there, my most recent couple mini reviews there is the film Infinity Pool from 2023, and of course the newest Bad Boys film, that too as well. I will be having my trailer reaction for Twisters up tonight, so keep an eye out for that, or tomorrow I should say. It's actually tomorrow here. So yeah, definitely keep on watching, keep on subscribing, keep on enjoying. I'll have more trailer reactions and reviews for you guys up soon, and keep an eye out and keep on trucking.
Dylan, great job tonight. Dylan, great. No, you're good. Listen, great job tonight, sir. For your first show, you did a great job. I just want to let you know we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Let me make sure I have this YouTube channel name figured out here. Guts and Glory Entertainment.
Yes. So that is like a production company that I want to make. That's the name. And that's the name.
I got it. I pulled it up. I'm subscribing right now, and I'm pulling up right now, and I'm going to pull it up for you.
Okay. So I built this thing back when I was making music with my best friend, and it has some vlogs on there from us just being drunk bastards and our antics after they let us out the house after COVID. So I'm going to have a couple videos from school that I did, my demo reel of all the things that I've shot, little events here and there, and then it's also filled with music. But
okay. Do you have any lives?
Yeah. Not yet.
No live. You got to get a live in there, brother.
Yeah, this is my introduction into that world.
Hey, we all start off humbly, sir, and you did a great job tonight. It was great having you on. Great having everybody on. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody from Middle Aged Men. We appreciate all of you. Appreciate I'm just a pop culture guy, as always. Regular guest in the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. Holding it down. Can't wait to do fucking Pulp Fiction with Cyber and you, or the squad. You know, the team. Busting off a movie review, another movie review, like we always do. It's going to be fun. In the meantime, folks, Monday coming up, I'm just a pop culture guy, and I are moving over to Jermaine's Fantasy's reality YouTube channel to go ahead and review and recap episode 2 of The House of the Dragon. So there's going to be no MCU's Bleeding Edge live stream on Monday night because we'll be over there on Jermaine's channel, live and over there. So that's where we'll be at. Like, we're switching locations up. We'll be back for episode 3. But next Wednesday, we've got the Acolyte episode 4. You know that's going to be a shit show. I'm moderating. Cyber, you get to vent and talk all kinds of shit about the Acolyte. It's going to be great, brother. You're going to love it. I'm going to give you lots of opportunities to talk about how bad it is, how fucked up it is. And supposedly they're going to introduce pronouns into the episode, into the show now. So, like, that'll be great. We hate it. We hate the Acolyte. It's fucking garbage. So I can't wait to review episode 4. And, and then on Friday, we got Matrix 4, bitch. What's up? It's fucking intense how when you play drinking games, every word you say, you're like afraid. Like every major word, like every title or something, you're afraid you're going to say something that's going to be a fucking drinking word. It starts to like haunt you. Watch out for the drinking games, folks. All right? Seriously. I'm telling you. Anyways, you'll end up like one of us Bleeding Edge motherfuckers or Dungeon Man or whatever. Anyways. All right, we love all of you out there. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you next week. We cannot wait to see you next week. And peace out, Joey. Peace out, everybody. Later.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law.